Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Click big.
Do you get that?
I have, yep. I'm recording it now.
Yeah. Anyway, right. I've got a few bullet points here in front of me. What do I want from a series like this? Well, I've written down all the obvious things, like reviews of the albums,
Yeah.
reviews of the videos, live shows, solo work, Freddie's vocals through the years, because obviously they changed quite a bit.
I did indeed.
Brian's best solos, Queen bootlegs, favourite bootleg cover art, things like that.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and anything else we can think of, really.
Oh, there's plenty.
What about? Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's plenty you can think of.
Yeah. So, for anybody listening, if we put this out today, is a little test between China and the UK. So let's hope it lasts. So, last Queen year, or more, actually, it was the end of last year, wasn't it? The Rainbow.
Yeah, that came out last year.
Yeah.
Late September, was it?
Well, yeah, I never thought that I'd ever see that. I never thought that I'd be pleased with a Queen release again.
Oh, that was a fantastic
What about you?
Oh, it was fantastic.
It was. I bought the audio straight away. I've not bought the DVD yet, but I've actually seen it from a friend, and it's absolutely fabulous.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah, the restoration job, absolutely fabulous. But the audio, what's your opinion on the use of auto-tune on the audio there?
It's pretty obvious, isn't it, on that one?
It is on. Is it Fairy Fella?
Well, you can hear it subtly throughout, I think. Because if you hear those early Queen bootlegs, Freddie Mercury's voice was often times pretty flat.
Well, yeah, it was a bit pitchy live sometimes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But to be honest, I mean, on the Fairy Fella, I know there's a big thread on the forum talking about the use of auto-tune and whatever. But it's a shame because we can't actually hear something like Fairy Fella because the bootleg is not out there, is it?
Exactly.
So, yeah. But I don't know about you, but I don't care whether Freddie was a bit flat or a bit sharp or whatever, because it's human.
Well, exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's what makes a recording like that so much fun to listen to.
But I think all of these live recordings by various artists, I think they're all auto-tuned and they use Melodyne and stuff like that to some extent, because it's okay for us who are like huge Queen fans, but for the average person coming to it, if they heard Freddie Mercury singing and his voice was just completely flat, they would just switch off, wouldn't they?
Yeah. But I mean, as far as live work is concerned, though, I can understand when they change something like, Fat Bottom Girls, Milton Keynes. He broke up there pretty badly. I can understand that because, it's got to bear up to repeated listening, and that's fine. But I don't think it's really needed to any great extent in the other live work, to be honest. Do you?
To be honest with you, I think they've used Melodyne throughout probably all of their live recordings, the official release.
What you mean in the, okay.
Yeah, because before auto-tune, there was a thing called Melodyne.
What, even in On Fire?
Even in things like 86 and stuff like that. Wembley, I'm sure they've used it.
Yeah.
And they've certainly touched things up and corrected, mistakes that Brian May made and stuff like that.
They've definitely done some studio overdubs as well in Wembley and whatever. But do you think they used Melodyne back in that time? Was Melodyne available then?
Yeah, I think Melodyne's like an early 80s thing.
Is it really?
It is, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it goes all the way back.
Okay, I'll have to do a bit of research on that. I didn't realise it was that old.
Yeah, I'm sure. Was it about 84, 85 that someone came with it?
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But so the rumour for the next live release actually is Hammersmith, isn't it?
Hammersmith 75, is that?
It is, yeah. What do you think about that?
I think that'll be a good one.
I mean, in my opinion, Hammersmith 75 is quite a short gig. If they put it out, they've got to put some kind of really good extras on it, because, well, otherwise, how are they going to do it? It's very short. I would have thought that the best thing to do would have been to put Hammersmith 79 on with it, which is one of my favourite gigs.
Yeah, they're going to really have to pack it out with the bonus stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think they'll...
The Queen don't really like doing that, do they, these days?
No, I don't know why, though, do you? It's a very strange way of going on. Because, let's face it, Roger, Brian, they're getting on in years. I don't like to think who's going to be in control after they're gone. It's...
Oh, God.
You know?
That's anyone's guess, isn't
it? Yeah, but you would think...
Probably Rufus Taylor or something,
but
probably one of the
kids.
Yeah,
maybe. But... The thing is, if I was those guys, I'd want to get everything in order before it's too late. Get everything the way I want it, get it out there, and just.
Yeah, I'm surprised something's not come out this year because they usually do something on the anniversary of Freddie's birthday, don't
they?
So
Yeah. But Hammy's got to come out this year. Let's face it. I mean,
Is it coming out this year?
Well, the rumor online is that it is, but I would imagine.
And if it comes out, it'll be probably the November the 24th thing then. Won't it?
Yeah, hopefully. Anyway, I'm hoping it's going to be as good as the Rainbow stuff. That's the restoration job.
The Rainbow looks fantastic on Blu-ray.
Beautiful,
looks absolutely brilliant.
Like I say, I'll be getting that as soon as possible. But what about the other release there, Warren? Queen Forever. Oh boy.
Oh, that was just a joke.
Well,
I think the whole Michael Jackson. There must be more to life than this. I think it's abominable. It
is. Do you know the fan mix on YouTube is way better? Really, it's. Can you remember?
Fan mix,
no, can you remember the fan mix where it was like alternating lines? Now that was much better, and apparently I think that's more along the lines of what Brian and Roger, their intentions. I think that's what they.
Yeah, because they weren't too happy with the way
they were not. No. I can remember seeing the interview and seeing Roger's face. So definitely.
Well, that goes to prove, doesn't it, that they don't really have much control over their own legacy in some respects.
Well, yeah, it's amazing to me. It's just amazing to me that they don't. But I was totally shocked at that. That mix. It was awful. Absolutely awful.
It was diabolical. It was terrible.
Yeah, but the other songs.
I didn't like what they did. I didn't like what they did with Love Kills either. I didn't think it was.
I thought I thought Love Kills was okay, but I still prefer the Freddie original.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Love Kills was okay. It wasn't a travesty, like There Must Be Life.
Exactly. Yeah, it wasn't in the same ballpark as that. But Let Me in Your Heart Again, I thought was fantastic.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. I mean, how do you think that would have fit into the works?
I think it would have been a lot better than something like Man on the Prowl or...
yeah. Well, actually, I think Man on the Prowl is probably the only song that I would take off and put something on there, because I do like the other stuff on there. I know Machines gets a lot of stick, but I quite like it. I mean, that was born out of Radio Gaga, wasn't it? Because Brian and Roger were working on it together, and then they split, and Brian came up with that. But no, I really like that. What else is there that people... Oh, Keep Passing the Open Windows. I love that song.
I'm not a huge fan of that one, to be honest. To be honest, I think the whole second side of the works is pretty poor.
Yeah. But talking about Let Me In, the song, I think the works actually is a short album anyway. It could have stood another song.
9 songs.
It could have stood another song.
It could have done. I heard that it was because It's a Hard Life and Let Me In Your Heart, they're kind of in the same... arena. They're quite kind of similar in that kind of rock ballad.
Yeah, and also Hammer to Fall, the solo is a bit similar to Let Me In, isn't it?
That's true.
But of course, at the time, maybe they would have changed it a little bit. But no,
you should think so.
I think they did a very good job on that. And it just makes you wonder what else is in the archives that they're not telling us about, because they're always denying these things, aren't they? They always say no. There's nothing left.
They did a studio version of Hangman, didn't they?
Well, they're supposed to be. There's supposed to be Hangman in there, and quite a few other little bits and pieces. But I always had the feeling that all these little snippets that you can find on YouTube. Why don't they do something like almost like an Abbey Road medley, where you can put all these?
They just string them all together.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of Freddie's songs had a love theme, so I don't think I don't think it would be that out of place. I think it would probably make quite a good project.
I think it would.
Yeah.
But there again, to be honest with you, I've never been a huge fan of the B-sides. I've never been a huge fan of the outtakes. I mean, from what I've heard Have you got the Freddie Mercury solo collection?
Yeah,
where it's got all the
I've got it. Yeah, I've got that. Yeah.
Some of them they're just not there.
Well, they're only snippets, aren't they? You know.
Well, exactly. Yeah, but I think he was such a perfectionist that he would have hated that kind of stuff getting out in the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think the more complete stuff. I think they've done quite a few things for conventions like Dog with a Bone that are a little bit more complete. So maybe they could have been worked on to some extent. But who knows? Who knows what's there? Because, you know, these days Brian has kind of a memory failing sometimes. He'll say something and then somebody will say, well, no, actually it's not that, Brian. And maybe his memory's not what it used to be.
It's got the whole Paul McCartney selective memory thing.
That's it, yeah. But it is kind of intriguing to wonder what's there. Because Brooks, is it Greg Brooks? Yeah. He's very elusive sometimes, isn't he, about what he's saying about things, and sometimes he gets things wrong. And I don't know. I'd love a box set.
Yeah, they've got to bring out an anthology at some point.
They've got to. I mean, Pink Floyd last year did some fantastic stuff with their catalogue. You know, the immersion sets and things like that, and everything went on.
Yeah.
Everything went on, and it's just that's how it should be, I think. I mean, I don't know about you. I've been a Queen fan since probably it was 77. Got News of the World on release. That's when I was a Queen fan from. So, you know,
God, no, I wasn't a Queen fan till the late 80s, really.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't born till 1980.
I know, but young whippersnapper.
How old are you then?
I'm 49, young man.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding.
No way, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
You're looking good, my friend.
Yeah, I am. No plastic surgery yet.
There's still time.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. But no, I've been a fan for a long time, and I just love a box set now, I think.
Yeah, they need to bring something out. Whether they will...
Well, yeah, I mean, now they've got a second life with Queen Plus. It's pushing things back, isn't it?
It is. They're throwing all their energies into that.
Yeah.
I haven't really got a problem with it, to be honest, but it's not my cup. I mean, I could have gone and seen them live last year, but it just didn't really appeal to me, to be honest.
No, I have...
I've not heard Brian May get through a solo that he didn't balls up yet, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? Every time I see a clip on YouTube, it's kind of messing things up a little bit. So
yeah. But no, I
kind of remember.
I'm with you. I have no problems with Queen Plus because that, you know, from the beginning they've kind of went out their way to do this side brand, this Queen Plus, and I think they've done a successful job of creating that. And then within that kind of sphere, they've been able to say, you know, we'll bring in different vocalists that are not replacing Freddie. So yeah, I think that it's not my cup of tea. You know, I wouldn't go and see them, I don't think. But you know, good luck to the guys. You know, the musicians.
Well, there's two ways of looking at it. Is that they're either keeping their legacy alive or they're dragging it through the mud, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yeah, I probably think it's keeping it alive in a sense with the younger fans, who and hopefully they'll discover Freddie through that. You know. And they'll go back to the original stuff.
How else are they going to discover him these days? You know what I mean? Yeah, they've got to keep the legacy alive. But at the same time, I admire what the Beatles do, which is that their catalogue is impeccable. They do not touch it.
Yeah.
There are no reissues. I mean, they brought out the mono and the stereo box sets, but that was it.
Yeah, beautiful as well. I bought those. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, really beautiful packages, and I think in a way I kind of prefer what they do, which is just to leave it alone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And let the old albums speak for themselves.
Yeah. Well,
I kind of wish Queen would just do that sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean about a box set. I think a box set could finish everything. You see, just get everything out. Just do it.
Yeah, and then you wouldn't need to keep putting these compilation releases out, would you? I mean, deep cuts and all that kind of stuff. It's like, what is all this?
Yeah. Well, compilations. I'm not bothered about Queen Forever. I'm not bothered about Absolute Greatest. I've got them. You know, I'm not going to buy them again.
Exactly.
And in my lifetime, I bought the original CDs. I bought the Hollywoods, the next EMIs. Then when they did them, what was it 98? They did them again. I can't remember now.
Yeah, and then the last batch were 2011, weren't they?
Well, the 2011s were the last ones, but before that they did them, didn't they? Again.
They did.
So yeah, I think I bought them 3 times, 4 times. So I'm not going to do it again. No.
No, you can't keep doing that.
Not at all, no. Anyway, let's have a little look at my my bullet points here. What else am I looking for? Oh, by the way, for the bootlegs, I think that's a great area to discuss in the future, and I'm hoping to get Mr. Greg Barnes on the show.
Nice.
Greg Barnes, the Greg Synth Bootlegs YouTube channel.
Is he coming on? Is it
well, he was supposed to be coming on a couple of weeks ago, but he was caught out of town, and then the week before that he was calling to work. Poor fella. so hopefully we'll get him on. And
hopefully,
yeah, he's quite an authority on Freddie's vocals. I think he's dedicated a lot of time to it. So it'd be nice to talk to him. If we can get a 3-way thing going as well, that'd be quite nice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of bootlegs, what's your favourite at the moment? Do you listen to bootlegs?
I used to collect the bootlegs, but I don't anymore. I've not listened to the bootlegs in years.
Yeah.
My favourite one, I guess. God, that's a hard one to say. I had a 2 CD set which compiled all the Live Aid stuff and the Roger Taylor demos and things. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what it was called. The Royal Collection, I think it was called. Volume 2.
Yeah.
And that had a demo version of Under Pressure, which I've never heard online.
Okay. Yeah.
Which was fascinating.
Yeah, I tend to download them, to be honest. I've got them all, on the computer. So.
Do you have to pay for those, or are they free?
No, you just get them here and there. I get a lot off YouTube.
Torrents and that
yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah. But what was I listening to last night? The Vienna 1986 on the Magic Tour. That's quite good. Freddie fluffs.
Yeah, I think I've seen that on Greg's channel.
Well, it's from a source in the audience, a videotape in the audience, but it's good. I like it. In fact, that performance I think beats the hell out of Wembley. Because obviously,
there's a very weird thing that happens if you watch the Friday night show.
Oh, that's even better. One. The Friday night's better than the Saturday.
So Freddie Mercury nearly collapses at one point if you watch closely enough.
But I think before that he was advised by the doctors, wasn't he? He was ill.
You can tell during the Wembley performances he's not at his peak.
Yeah, but I feel in his voice on those days he's not the best, because I sense that he's a bit filled up. Maybe had a cold, and you can tell.
Yeah,
you can really tell.
There's backstage footage of him not looking particularly good.
Yeah.
They're going to get, puts the champion in him, he just keeps soldiering on, doesn't he?
God, yeah. I mean, even on his down days, he was still pretty good, wasn't he?
Yeah, because even though I don't think his performances were the best in '86, I think that's almost him his most iconic.
Yeah.
You've got the the yellow jacket, and he just looks like the boss, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, that kind of get-up's become the uniform, hasn't it? You think of Freddie Mercury, it's like you see people going out for fancy dress, and that's what they're wearing.
Exactly, and it just looks so cool.
Yeah. But I think you're right. I think the visual aspect of the 1986 Wembley tour was great, but the vocals overall not the best. I mean, I think '79 Crazy Tour, that's absolute the pinnacle, really. The '79 Crazy Tour, fantastic. But he did have quite a few changes in his vocals over the years.
He did indeed.
And
that'll be the cigarette and vodka.
Well, yeah, the cigarettes came in the '80s, didn't they? So
they did.
Yeah. I mean, as a vocalist myself, and you're a vocalist, I've lost a lot of my top end over the years, and I don't smoke. so you can imagine what it does.
My voice tends to get higher actually as I go on.
Really? You don't smoke? You don't smoke?
I did smoke up until about 2 weeks back.
Yeah. So it's really, yeah.
I did, yeah. Well, on and off, I go through phases.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've lost a lot of top end, and I don't smoke. So I can imagine, what it was like when he stopped smoking, because Innuendo came after that, didn't it? When he stopped.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, and
his voice is fantastic. Again,
that's it, yeah.
I think there's a lot of studio trickery with that, but it's still fantastic.
Oh yeah, I mean, when you talk about studio trickery, though, I don't think it's as much as today.
Oh God, no, to the same extent. No.
I mean, I was listening to Maroon 5, Moves Like Jagger, and
oh yeah, I mean that's completely auto-tuned.
Oh
isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And to me, when I listen to that, it's just like straight lines. They go up and down, but it's like straight lines.
Yeah, almost like the soul's missing
Yeah,
out.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it obviously is. It's a machine-oriented kind of thing. But
exactly.
But if I listen to old Queen material, obviously you can tell that Fred, sometimes goes a bit flat, bit sharp or whatever, but it doesn't matter to me.
It doesn't.
That's what makes a singer human.
Exactly right.
I think I was listening to Aretha Franklin a few weeks ago, and she, even in places she's a bit pitchy.
She's a bit dodgy.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. But the feeling that comes out of those vocals, and Fred is the same, for me anyway. It's.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, I really love the like I said, we were talking about them auto-tuning it, but I thought the Rainbow release. I'm actually, as I get older, I'm preferring the kind of youthful Freddie voice.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
What you mean, like the first era, kind of 73 to what, 76?
Yeah, I'd say around 74 to about 77, or up to about News of the World.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, I think News of the World is where the changes come, or begin to come. Yeah. But that's my opinion. I don't know what you think.
You think his voice is a little bit more affected then?
No, I think they are getting slightly rawer. I think it might be the vocal nodes as well, making things slightly rawer. I can't really explain it, to be honest. It's a very strange thing. And then by the time it gets to things like 86 and Gimme the Prize, I mean, there's no way he could have done that in 74, 75.
No, that's very true.
No way. So he went through big changes. But I know what you mean. I know what you mean about his youthful voice. I was listening to the Bohemian Rhapsody stems the other day.
Oh yeah.
And it's just the vocal, and he's having quite a bit of trouble on a few parts. But it's great to listen to. I don't know about you, Warren, but as a vocalist myself, you listen to things like that. You think even the great Freddie had problems sometimes getting notes out.
Yeah, it kind of spurs you on, doesn't it? You think, well, no one's perfect.
But on the other hand, it really G's you up to do it yourself, because that's the old-fashioned way. If you made a mistake, you dropped in, and it's still a real human voice. Or you comped your vocal, which I do now. You
don't use auto-tune.
Well, I comp my vocals, or I'll drop in on a flat note.
Yeah, I'll never use auto-tune.
No, well,
not unless
no.
I've used vocoders and stuff, but it's obvious that I'm using vocoders.
That's what I was going to say. I don't mind auto-tune. I don't mind Melodyne as an effect, as
as long as you're going to be blatant.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Show that you are
Yeah,
using
if it's a tool to do something in that effect, it's like the jingle that I use on my original music show.
Yeah, is that like a vote?
Well, that's actually an app called Improvov. Improvox or Improvov, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's an app, and it works on a similar kind of vein to that. But it's obvious what I was going for. Exactly, and so if it's a tool, I've got no problems with that, But I don't want to use it myself as a crutch.
Yeah, I think when it's used as a covert thing, I think that's when it becomes a little bit sinister.
Yeah. But also,
when you're being blatant about it, then there's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. But I do think if you use it too much, it takes away from a vocal. If you're trying to make the vocal transparent, it doesn't really work. You can actually hear it. You can actually hear it, and like you say on the Rainbow, you can hear it here and there. But I still.
It's not. I mean, they've obviously used it throughout, but I don't think it's obvious.
Yeah,
obvious to that degree.
Yeah, they've used it in a more subtle way, haven't they? Yeah.
I mean, for me, White Queen on the Rainbow is just, to me, it's almost the best thing I've heard them do live. I think White Queen is fantastic at the Rainbow.
It's beautiful. It's brilliant.
Freddie Mercury joining in on the piano is just wonderful.
Yeah. I could never have imagined we would have got a release like that. I mean, everything from the cover to the artwork of the video, everything is just beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
and in HD, I love how blatant Freddie's makeup is.
Is what?
He's even drawn in some cheekbones and stuff. If you actually look on the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
The guy had some balls. You got to give him that.
Yeah. Oh. But
I think it was David Bowie, wasn't it, who said that as a performer he took it further than anybody else.
Was it? High praise indeed. High praise indeed.
High praise, exactly. Yeah.
But talking of Bowie, that's another thing. I was listening to the stems for Under Pressure, and both Freddie and Bowie's vocals are very impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah, Bowie gets knocked as a vocalist, but I think he's actually, for what he does, he's kind of in the Bob Dylan camp, isn't he? Where he's not technically brilliant. He's not going to hit every note, but at least he's
well, it's unique, and
exactly
he can style himself for the song, and I think he's just brilliant, Bowie. I really wish.
Check that out, the stems.
I really wish they had have done more. The only thing that they did together other than that was Cool Cat, wasn't it? Which Bowie pulled at the last minute.
Can you blame him?
Well, yeah, that was a bit half-hearted, but no, I wish they had have gone into another full-blown track and seen, where they could have gone with it, because
I think maybe it's just a clash of egos, isn't it?
Yeah. I can remember
Freddie Mercury called him an asshole, didn't he, for pulling out of a Cool Cat?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Well, he was. I think he did it the day before, didn't he?
Yeah, it was like literally just before it was going to press, I think.
Yeah.
He said, no, take me off.
Yeah.
So they just scrubbed his vocals, didn't they?
Well, actually, I mean, Cool Cat's better without them anyway.
Yeah, I was never a huge fan of Cool Cat anyway, to be honest.
No, I have to say, I do love Hot Space.
Do you?
Oh, I do. I do.
One you're guilty of?
I do.
I put it in a category of Trans by Neil Young.
Say again?
Have you heard that?
You're breaking up.
I put it in the same category as Trans by Neil Young.
Oh, yeah.
Where people say, like, this is the nadir, this is the lowest point, but actually, no, there's a lot of good stuff in there.
What, you think Hot Space is the lowest point?
No, I know, but people say that.
Yeah.
I actually think it's all right.
No.
But I think if you was to come at it and someone was to say, you've got to hear Hot Space, it's fantastic, and then you heard it, you'd be really disappointed.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the fact that people call it a bit of a dog of an album, it goes in its favour in some respects, because it's not as bad as you think it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
No, but I've always liked it, so, and I like Body Language, so there you go.
Yeah, I really like it. I think there's a lot of good stuff on Hot Space. There's some. I actually think Jazz is one of their worst albums.
Well, I love the songs on Jazz, but the production, I hate it.
Yeah, don't you find it kind of cold and sterile?
And the drums, where are they?
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually think that must be when the band were kind of getting into their coke phase, because, like I said, to me, I don't know if there's just an air of it that's cold and sterile and a bit robotic.
Well, I think some of it's got to be laid at Roy Thomas Baker's feet, because how he could come in after, Night at the Opera, fantastic production. How could he produce something like Jazz? It's beyond me.
It's dire.
The
production on it. I mean, Mustafa it's like really quiet at the beginning, and then it comes in full blast, which I kind of like as an effect in a way. But at the same time, you think. Yeah. You're always having to mess about with the volume on your headphones, because you're expecting it to be this one thing, and then all of a sudden there's just this massive noise, isn't there?
Yeah. But I did read that Roy Thomas Baker was obviously the Cars producer, wasn't he? And he was trying to bring some sort of new wave feel into it, but it doesn't work for me, the production on that. I'd love to get hold of that album myself and remix it, but I'm sure I could.
See, you're talking about reissues. That's probably what they should do. They should re-release all of the stems digitally, so that us fans can go back in and remix them ourselves the way we want to hear them.
Yeah, you're right. I think a few years ago they did that with Don't Stop Me Now, didn't they? On some sort of competition.
Did they? I think
they
Radiohead did a similar thing.
So yeah, you're right though. I think that's going to be one of the next steps as well in the Queen camp. I think they're going to take some of these albums, remix them, repackage, not just remaster, because remastering can only do so much with something. But a remix is got to be where it's at, where Jazz is concerned. I think.
I mean, I would have to put Jazz probably in my. Maybe it's just a personal thing where I was when I heard it. You know what I mean? Because I think that has a big part to play in things.
Yeah.
Where you were as a person when you heard that album.
Yeah.
Maybe I was just in a bit of a. I remember it being a really grey, drizzly day when I bought that album.
Yeah.
I don't know if it had an effect. But
Maybe.
There's just stuff I do not like on there.
Yeah.
Dead on Time, I can't stand.
Yeah. No, music does.
I know some people like that. But
yeah, music does that to you. Though I can remember exactly News of the World. I remember plucking it from one of those robots, like it was yesterday. That's what music does, though. It brings memories back, and
it does.
That's a beautiful thing, I think.
Going on the bus to Woolworths to pick up your your albums and stuff. I mean, that's what's missing from now, where the postman just pops it through your door, or you just download it digitally. You haven't got that connection with it that you...
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you used to sit on the bus and you used to read the liner notes and read the lyrics without knowing what the song was...
Yeah, those were the days.
Like.
Yeah, record shops.
Those were the days and days, yeah.
You remember Revolver? That was a big shop when I was young. Sib Booth, Al Price. But yeah.
God, yeah.
All gone. All gone.
All gone now. Even HMV's on its way out now.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that because I've been in China for 8 years and I'm a bit behind on the news there. So is HMV totally gone?
There's one left, I think, in Birmingham. One or two, maybe. Oh boy,
that's it's a sad.
And there used to be two just next to each other. Yeah. That's how busy it was at one point.
It's a sad state of
You must get a lot of copies over there then, mustn't you, in China?
It's what?
China's like the capital of the world for like bootlegging and copying,
yeah, you could probably get anything you like here in that respect. But yeah, it's a sad day. So you know when everything went.
It is indeed, but at the same time we get to put our music out into the world now, don't we?
Well, always pros and cons. Always pros and cons.
Exactly. Yeah. So we have to look at those pros and say, I'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I tell you, an interesting thing we were talking about the other day online. You and I. We messaged each other and we were talking about the drum sounds, weren't we, of the 80s? And I said Queen never...
That heavy reverb.
Yeah, but actually I'm going to go back on that a little bit now because I listened to Thank God It's Christmas and I really don't like the drum sound on that. It's too much of a delay on there.
Yeah, that's a bit of a... I find that song to be kind of strange in a lot of ways, to be honest.
And the other one... I Want to Break Free, you know, the single version, I absolutely love the arrangement on that, more than the album. Yeah. But I do wish that they had used the sound from the album version, but the arrangement from the single version. Because I do find there's too much reverb on that single, to be honest. And reverb for me is, I don't know, I like to put things in a space rather than have the reverb kind of washing over everything. I can still enjoy that song, but, you know.
I think Radio Gaga is I think it's probably the most sonically perfect song ever recorded. I'm not saying it's the greatest song ever recorded, but sonically it is absolutely perfect.
I love it. In every respect. I love it. And it's fantastic, even though it's a drum machine, they haven't put a lot of reverb on it. They haven't, you know, kind of washed everything away. It's a fantastic recording.
Sounds brilliant. I mean, I've copied that so many times. You know, you start with a drum beat and then the synths come in, just doing this kind of weird thing, like building up a bit of an atmosphere. I've ripped that off a million times.
Yeah. Well, I think The Works actually was the first time for digital recording for Queen, wasn't it? On digital tape. I think it was. Yeah. I'm sure it was. I remember was it the Freddie interview with Miri Turner, and he actually talked about the works and the recording, and he made a joke about not being so technical, but he knew that it was the first time that it was digital and there was no deterioration in sound when you bounce it. I'm pretty sure The Works is the first one.
I know Brian May said after he died that Freddie Mercury wouldn't like to record in this day and age. He wouldn't like the techniques that they used.
Do you think? In what way?
Yeah.
In what way?
Brian May said that in an interview. I can't remember when it was. Yeah, he said that he doesn't think that Freddie Mercury would like the way that things are recorded now.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he was talking about the whole auto-tune thing. And
yeah, maybe. But I do know that Brian also says that Freddie would like this and like that. And
yeah, he kind of speaks for him a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, apparently
and I don't think the two of them were that close, to be honest.
No, I think it was closer to John, wasn't he? John Deacon.
He was. There's not much of a rapport with Freddie and Brian on stage.
No.
And I've seen certain gigs where they actually look kind of a bit annoyed with each other.
Yeah.
I've seen Brian May talking to the audience. Is it at Rio? Brian May talks to the audience or something, and Freddie Mercury doesn't look happy with him.
Yeah. But I know that John Deacon, I think that's the real reason why he just walked away from the business. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Can you blame him either? I mean, I don't think he'd sit well on stage with Adam Lambert, and
no,
I just don't think he'd feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, and I think he was pretty annoyed at things like the Robbie Williams thing, and you know.
Yeah, didn't he call that? Didn't he say that was awful?
He did, yeah, yeah. He just disliked it totally. But apparently he's given the blessing for everything that's gone on since. So.
Well, it's filling his bloody coffers, isn't it?
Well, it is.
He's still getting paid.
Yeah, absolutely. So there was a couple of pictures of him, wasn't there? Last month.
Yeah, there was a wedding
once
that he was at. I saw that. In Queensland.
Yeah, yeah. So
I find all that stuff a little bit intrusive. I kind of like the fact that he's disappeared out of the world now, and you can just he's off doing his own little thing.
He's become quite an enigma, really. It's
he's more enigmatic than Freddie Mercury in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, or at least more so than Roger and Brian now, because
they're just complete sellouts, aren't they? I mean, I hate to say it, but they'll turn up at the opening of a fridge door. Those two.
Yeah. Oh boy. But talking of John again. You know, as a musician, I was very surprised that he could walk away and not actually do something in the music arena, because he had been a musician for such a long time, but maybe it just wasn't there anymore. I don't know. Just you know, because with me it's a compulsion. Whether I make money at it or not, it's just something I have to do.
You're just compelled to do it.
Yeah.
There again, he probably still does it. He probably still makes his music down in his basement that no one's ever going to hear.
Exactly. He could do, couldn't he?
I think it's the industry he walked away from rather than
the
music itself.
Yeah, yeah. It would be interesting. I think I'd actually like to meet John Deacon more than the other guys, to be honest. You know, just.
I would love to sit down and have a conversation with John Deacon.
Yeah.
I think with Brian May and Roger Taylor, you'd just get fed the same old fairy tale, and it'd be the same stories that you've heard a million times.
Yeah,
I think with John Deacon, you'd find some really interesting stuff.
Yeah, whenever I've seen him interviewed on TV, you know, on the documentaries and stuff, like on the old black and white Bob Harris stuff, very interesting. I think, you know, he comes across as
he's quite open about the business side of things.
Yeah. Well, he did take over the business reins, didn't he? He
did, yeah.
He was really the guy that was in control of the money, and that's the kind of aura that you get from him, I think. But
I've got a lot of respect for that man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic bass player.
I bet he wishes he could sing.
He always said that, didn't he? It was the one thing he wished he could do was sing.
Yeah, but you know, that must be so hard. As a writer myself, I think to myself, how on earth did he get over the idea that he had to Freddie or whomever? It's very difficult when you can't actually sing.
Yeah, that must be horrible.
Yeah, I mean, a song like
I don't think I would write songs at all if I couldn't sing them myself.
I know. I mean, a song like Another One Bites the Dust, or how did he do it? Did he just play the melody for Fred, or what? I don't know.
I should imagine he probably just whispered it into his ear and said it kind of goes a little bit like this.
Yeah.
And I think probably Freddie Mercury just ran with it then.
Yeah. Or he probably just hummed it to him or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's
quietly in some corner of a room.
Yeah. I was reading today. I think I told you last week. I bought this book, Queen Chronology, and it was talking about the Queen 2 album, and it was talking about John Deacon, and apparently they say, whether it's true or not, I don't know. They say the first song he wrote was a song called Flight by Night, I think it's called. Or Flight by Night. So that might be an interesting thing to listen to. And I think there's something else called Deep Ridge that Freddie supposedly wrote. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. So...
Who wrote that book?
Oh, gosh. Patrick somebody. I think it's the guy that did the Queenpedia. I might get the wrong. Okay. I might have got the wrong site.
Is it just a digital thing, or is it a physical release? Can you actually go out and buy it in a bookstore?
I bought this on Kindle, but you can actually get this book as a physical copy as well. In fact, I shall have a look and tell you next time, or put it on the website. On Facebook.
I've got a similar book called The Complete Works by George Purvis.
Yeah, I've got that as well. Fantastic book.
Yeah, that's an interesting book.
It is. I love books like that.
It doesn't really tell you anything you didn't kind of already know as a Queen fan.
But it's all in one place, isn't it? It's
exactly. Yeah.
That's what I like. But it's a good book. Good book. And this chronology.
Oh yeah, fascinating.
Yeah, this chronology book's good as well because it kind of goes. Obviously, it's chronological, so it goes from A to B kind of thing. Which just as a reference thing, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll have to have a read of that.
Yeah, it's good. I'm not saying everything's correct in it. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But it gives you a starting point. You can look in there and think, oh, did that happen? Then maybe cross-reference somewhere else.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. It's good.
There we go. I don't think I really need to hear any more outtakes. If the best stuff like Freddie Mercury solo stuff is on the solo collection, the outtakes stuff like New York,
yeah.
I don't really need to hear anything else because there's nothing on there that really floats my boat, to be honest.
I'll tell you what.
And I think the more of that, it will just water down the legacy. Anyway, if you just start releasing,
but I'll tell you what,
into the world.
the Freddie box set is worth it for one song alone, and that's the alternate take of How Can I Go On, and
I was going to say,
oh, absolutely phenomenal. That's one of my go-to tunes to kind of give me inspiration. The vocals on it, I just love it.
I love it. And Guide Me Home. No one ever talks about.
Well, that's what I mean. They're
about
together, aren't they? Guide Me Home and How Can I Go On together. Beautiful.
They were Jim Hutton's favourites, weren't they?
It's what?
They were Jim Hutton's favourite Freddie songs, I think. He talks about it in Mercury and Me.
Oh, okay. But it's just a phenomenal vocal performance on there. It must rank in my top 5 of Fred's, I think. So yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, so for that alone, I think it's worth it. So, anyway,
there's a lot of good stuff on the solo collection. I like the instrumentals and the stuff he was doing with other people, like Lady with a tenor sax and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, with
who's that with again?
Billy Squire, not Billy.
Billy Squire. That's
right. Billy Squire?
I think it is.
No, I don't. Was it? I can't remember. Well,
I've got Google up here. Do you want me to try?
With Billy Squire, it was Love Is the Hero. Is that the same guy? So no, it's somebody else.
I'm sure he did too with him. Yeah, Lady with a tenor sax. I'm going to find it now.
Okay.
Lady with a tenor sax. It's Billy Squire.
Oh, is it Billy Squire? Okay, yeah.
It is, yeah.
Man from Manhattan, was that him as well?
That's Eddie Howe.
Okay, yeah.
I paid £20 for that when it came out on CD back in '94. I think they re-released it. £20 I paid for that.
Oh, wow.
And I was gutted when I got it home.
Really?
I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't mind the song, it's okay. And I like the production on it. You can hear Freddie all over it.
Yeah, it's a lot of money though.
But yeah, £20 for an EP, I was fuming.
Oh, gosh.
There again, I also paid £20 for an import of Innuendo because it had the explosive version of Innuendo on there.
Oh boy,
and it's just a thunderclap at the end.
Yes, I remember getting that in '91 on the CD single. And I thought, wow, what's this going to be? and
it's just a thunderclap or something. I was like, what the hell is this?
Total letdown.
Yeah. I mean, that's really ripping your fans off because I bought that on import thinking it was, this was back in about '94.
Yeah. But and
I thought, oh God, I can't wait to hear this. And I was absolutely gutted.
But you've just reminded me of something else now, ripping fans off. When Queen Forever came out, and I saw all these versions, 2014. I thought, wow, there are going to be some alternate takes here, and no, it's like chopping the beginning of Play the Game off. Oh boy, and calling it, another version, taking off the stuff from You Take My Breath Away, things like this. I don't like things like that. I
mean, that's ruining the legacy.
Yeah, I like it as it is.
Yeah, they should just leave the songs alone. Yeah. I mean. But give them to us. Give us the stems as fans, so we can just mess about with them and do our own little thing.
Yeah, but leave those things
by all means. But
if you're gonna do it, don't call it a new version. It's not a new version. Yeah. It's just chopped. You've just chopped the same version.
Yeah, I'd like to know who give that the go ahead. To be honest.
Well,
like I said, I wonder how much Brian May and Roger Taylor have to do with the re-releases and what comes out.
Yeah. Well, I would like to think that it wasn't their decision and that it was the record company's decision, because I just think that's a bit dishonest and disingenuous to the fans, really.
And is it Island Records?
Yeah.
Are they still with Hollywood Records over in America?
Do you know what? I don't know. We'll have to do a little research on that.
Yeah, we'll have to do some research on it.
Yeah, but I just thought that was a cheap kind of stunt, really. I was going before that came out, there was a lot of kind of talk about what was going to be on it. There was a lot of talk that all these little bits and pieces were made into full songs. I Guess I'm Falling Out and things like that. But when it when it came out, I thought this is it. This is.
You didn't buy it, did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't buy Absolute Greatest either. I just thought those two releases for me meant nothing whatsoever.
Yeah, I didn't even get Queen Greatest Hits 3.
No, I didn't. I didn't, because Queen's Greatest 3 for me is not a real greatest hits of Queen.
Hasn't it got like Wycliffe John on there, and it's got the raw mix of Under Pressure, which is, I can't stand the raw mix.
No. It's just, I mean, they could have made a fantastic third one, because, I mean, you had stuff from Hot Space. Okay, it didn't do as well as the other stuff, but it's there. Yeah. They're Queen singles.
You had all the Made in Heaven stuff and Innuendo that hadn't come out on the Greatest Hits too.
Yeah, but, you know...
Thank God It's Christmas. Was that on there? Thank God
it was, I think, wasn't it? But then,
I should think it was.
But in America, Body Language was a big hit.
Yeah,
but it was still left off. And then you had stuff like Needs Your Loving Tonight, which, okay, got to 40 or something, didn't it? Around the 40s. Calling All Girls, Las Palabras, which was on the on the 3. But then you had stuff that you could have mopped up from the 70s, you know, Tie Your Mother Down. Didn't do as well in the charts, but Spread Your Wings. That was still low, but it's a fantastic song. What are the others? Flick of the Wrist. Flick of the Wrist was a double A side. Got to number 2.
And no one knows that one, do they? I mean, only us diehard fans, really, I think.
Yeah.
Flick of the Wrist.
But that's the thing. You could have brought those things to a whole new generation, and they could have, you know, got into it way sooner than they did. I mean, those deep cuts.
Definitely screwed.
Too late.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really go back and undo those things now, can you?
You can't.
I mean, what they're going to do a Greatest Hits 4.
Say again.
We shouldn't say that. I was going to say what they're going to do next to Greatest Hits 4 when they include those things. But I shouldn't really say that, because they probably will.
Yeah, but in a way, I suppose, it's the physical stuff now is a bit redundant, isn't it? I mean...
It is. I mean, I prefer to have a physical release.
If it's worth it, like the Rainbow.
If it's worth
the Rainbow. I mean, I did download the Rainbow, but I will get the physical stuff when I can. So
I haven't bought the album, you know.
I got it straight away on download, but I'll, you know, that's one that I do want on physical, because even the cover, I just love those like 70s covers, because that was a real poster, wasn't it? So it's a real 70s style cover. Fantastic.
I just love watching it on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, artwork.
Sounds fantastic, looks brilliant.
Yeah. But talking of artwork, I mean, the Rainbow stuff, brilliant. Of the time, the poster, fantastic. But then you take something like Hungarian Rhapsody. What the hell were they thinking?
That's awful.
It's totally shocking, isn't it? It's just...
It's not even a great picture of Freddie.
No, it's just so bad.
It's really bad. I don't know what they did that for.
You know, you think about Live Killers as an iconic cover, then you go to something like Hungarian Rhapsody, and it's just shocking. Oh, dear.
Why did they even call it? It's a terrible name for a start-off.
What, Hungarian Rhapsody? Actually, I think that was the name of a classical piece by somebody, and he was Hungarian, I think. I'll have to look that up. But
really?
There is a famous classical piece.
It was just live in Budapest originally, wasn't it? 86?
Huh?
When it was on VHS.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay.
Did you have it when it was on VHS?
Okay. You're breaking up a bit there, Warren.
Oh, is it okay now?
Yeah, that's a bit better.
Yeah, it was just called Live in Budapest '86, I think.
Well, that's preferable.
It is, isn't it? Oh,
absolutely.
I don't know what they did that for.
Sometimes it's best just to be straight to the point, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Budapest concert, but again, I don't think it's in that upper echelon of Queen releases.
Mm. What do you think of that performance on there, on the Budapest?
I can't really knock their performance.
Yeah, pretty good, isn't it? It's certainly better than Wembley, I think.
Yeah, there's something a little bit off about Wembley. Maybe it's because there was so much high expectation because of Live Aid the year before.
And plus, obviously, his illness. But
exactly.
But Live Aid...
And I think it shows. I think it really shows in '86 that you can see that he was ill.
Oh, definitely.
And he almost looks like he's trying too hard. He's doing push-ups on stage and all this kind of stuff. It's almost like he's trying too hard to show that he was still fit and active. And
I mean, in hindsight, you know, hats off to the guy, because when the way he was at the end, I just cannot imagine going through that myself and being the way he was. It's it's horrific, isn't it? Yeah, but you look at the Cycling Mad video, and what a trooper! What a guy.
Now, talking about re-releases, that should be out on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
the greatest, the greatest flicks, and it should have all those videos that didn't make it originally. You know, your These Are the Days of Our Lives and stuff like that.
What, the Disney? What was it? Disney who did the?
No, I don't like the Disney one, but they've got the whole band version, haven't they? Yeah. Brian May wasn't there on the day, was he? They were just to kind of.
They just cut together, wasn't it? But didn't Disney do kind of some animated stuff over it? I've not seen that for years.
I didn't think it was great.
Yeah, to be honest, I can't remember what it looked like now. It's
it kind of reminded me a little bit of the Save Me video. Remember you had was it the Dove?
I've got a soft spot for the Save Me video though. I think it's because of when it came out, and that's probably my my favourite Brian May song. Save Me.
Yeah, I do love that song.
Yeah, but
I think Who Wants to Live Forever is probably my favourite Brian May song.
Say again.
Who Wants to Live Forever, I think.
Oh, well, that's my number 2 for Brian.
Is it?
Yeah. 2 classics there.
I love it live as well. I love hearing Freddie singing it live.
Which one? Live?
Who Wants to Live Forever.
Oh, yes. Now, that on Wembley was pretty good, I think.
He was.
So
wasn't there a bit of amending there? Because didn't he kind of screw up one of the notes? You can hear it, the original, like untouched version on YouTube, where, and I'm sure there's a few songs, and that's one of them where there's a few dodgy notes on there. Yeah,
but like we were saying before, it's human, and that's what I like. It's it doesn't have to be auto-tuned to death. I think the generation now maybe are losing that, and they think that when they hear a Justin Bieber song or hear a Maroon 5 song, that's how a vocalist actually should sound.
And it makes it harder for us musicians that are going out there and playing live. Do you know what I mean? We're supposed to be perfect. We're supposed to sound robotic, and it's never going to happen.
Well, apparently you can use auto-tune live now, can't you? Is that right?
You can, yeah. You can. Because all you do is you just change the response speed. So that makes it more or less subtle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose it's the equivalent of when they used to go out with the backing tapes like Milli Vanilli or something.
Yeah. Didn't Aerosmith used to go out to backing tapes? Didn't Freddie Mercury say that in an interview once?
Yeah. I mean, Queen made good use in a legitimate way. I think it was pretty good in Bohemian Rhapsody. They could come off stage and they could have a drink and then go back on. So in that respect, those ways of using them are pretty okay to me. But
I don't like is it the 84-85 tour where they've got Now I'm Here and they've got synths on it and stuff that's awful what they did with some of those songs.
Yeah, I think in that era also Roger's synth drums.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Yes.
What was it called? Was it the Octarak? It was called.
Was it? But those sounds, I don't like those sounds.
No, neither do I.
Yeah. Really took away from.
And he had some pretty shocking outfits himself, old Roger, didn't he, back then?
Yes, he did. But I certainly didn't like that kind of sound. It was unnecessary live, I think.
It was. I don't know what it added to it.
I mean, Roger's a bloody good drummer.
He is fantastic. I mean, Now I'm Here is fantastic drumming. I think that's probably the peak of his drumming.
Yeah, but talking of that, we were talking about the jazz album. If you really listen to what Roger Taylor's playing on there, on Dead on Time and things like this, the drumming is very good, but you just cannot hear the damn thing. It's like he's got his.
Didn't they change? On the 2011 remasters, I'm sure they did some extra things with the drums.
Well, they might have done, but in remastering, you can only do so much because they don't touch the stems. So, even in that respect, it's just not there for me, and it's just a sad thing, because the performances I think are great.
Well, but you can't polish a turd, can
you?
No. If the song's not.
I mean, this remastering business, it's. I think a lot of fans get the wrong idea about remastering. It's not remixing. It's the whole thing. You remaster the whole thing, the sound of the whole thing.
Usually all they're doing now is just boosting the volume.
Yeah. But if you change the high-end frequency, everything else changes. You have to. Yeah. You have to change it, across the spectrum, and people don't realise you can only go so far. I mean, fair enough.
I've got a pair of. I've got a really expensive pair of headphones. I kind of treated myself to one really expensive pair of headphones. Statement series. And if you listen to the 2011 remasters, they're awful, some of them.
Really?
There's peaking on there, there's distortion, there's clipping. They really don't sound good.
Well, do you know what? I don't listen to the 2011s after let me think. From the game up to Innuendo, I listen to the originals because
Innuendo sounds really digital.
Really, what?
Innuendo sounds really digital. If you the 2001.
They've just it's over compression. It's because I listen to a lot in the earbuds, you know, because I'm busy. I'm always on the go, so a lot of my music is listened to on the run, and through the buds. I've got some Sony ones, pretty decent, and it's just horrible. It's distorted, everything. And I put on the original Innuendo. It's fantastic. You've got depth there. You've got nothing that hurts the ears. There's no kind of horrible bite that stings the ear. It's not uncomfortable. It's just, you know, a lot of depth to it. And you can turn it up and it doesn't hurt. But, you know, I don't know why they do these things.
Just money, isn't it?
It is.
They just want that money. I mean, they've brought out the LPs again, haven't they, now? Their box set.
Yeah. Well, at least with the LPs, you can't...
With stupid coloured vinyl, so you've got, like, you know, vomit green for jazz or something.
But sound-wise, at least you cannot do that with an LP, because obviously it'll jump. So...
Yeah.
But even so, I just think it's like a regression in sound, in a way.
It is.
I mean, why? I don't know why.
It's throughout the whole of the music industry.
It is.
The music industry is just swallowing itself up now.
Yeah, I think it probably started, after 95. I think Made in Heaven itself is a good, you know, the original, it's good. Yeah. But if you put that into your Soundforge or whatever, you can see the wave going up. And probably by 2000, it's just getting a bit silly. And because I am reverting back to a lot of the original stuff now. The Miracle on the original 89 CD is just great when you listen on the headphones. So much depth. The Game, so much better than the 2011. When I'm listening to the 2011, Another One Bites the Dust comes on. It nearly blows my ears off. It's it's just, but it's not in a good way. It's like a buzz in your ear. It's horrible, horrible.
It'll give you tinnitus. Listening to that
Yes, exactly. But I will say that the earlier stuff, the Queen debut album, I think that does sound better on the 2011. Except for Liar, which still has a bit in there that really crunches the ear, that really gets my ear. It just, I mean, it is an old recording.
I bought the 2000, but I can't say that I've listened to them all, to be honest.
Yeah.
You just kind of buy them and just throw them in the collection, don't you?
Yeah.
But the ones I have heard, especially the Works is quite poor.
Yeah, I'm listening to the original Works, and it's just great. Like I say, it's the word that comes back is depth, because on the remasters it's like crunched up so much that obviously the bass is right in the middle now, and it's just
squashing the signal, isn't it? So that everything just becomes one compressed kind of lump.
Yeah, it's just meh.
And that's not good for the ears.
Yeah, not good at all.
I mean, like I said, we were talking about the Beatles earlier. The remastering job they did on the stereo and the mono box, they're perfect. Yeah, they sound fantastic.
Yeah, I bought the stereo box. I didn't buy the monos. I bought the stereos, but I've heard the monos, and they are good. Yeah, they're good.
I think I actually prefer the mono mixes in a lot of ways.
I think I don't mind the monos if I'm not listening on the phones. I just prefer stereo. I'm so used to stereo on the phones.
What, you like Ringo's drums coming out over on the left, and you've got...
No, I don't mind that, I don't mind that. On the early album, you mean, yeah?
Yeah, I just think that when you do that, you kind of lose a little bit of the group dynamic.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like they're playing separately, and I like to hear them all sound together as one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so stuff like Ticket to Ride, I love it in mono because it's...
Do you listen on the phones?
It's the sound of a band.
Do you listen on your earphones?
I listen. Yeah, I don't really listen to music unless it's on headphones now.
Okay. On the run?
Yeah, or I listen to music in the car occasionally.
Yeah. That's what gets me, that a lot of people say, like these audiophiles, I have got no time to be a bloody audiophile. It's, I haven't got time to sit for 2 hours listening to an LP, or I just haven't got the time.
No.
So, no, most of my stuff is on the pod. It's,
I would consider myself an audiophile to an extent,
Yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'd love to be able to spend the time doing that, but I just haven't got the time. So.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And the money. I mean, the equipment costs an absolute fortune.
Oh boy, it does, doesn't it? It does.
But I just treated myself to one really expensive pair of headphones, and I thought, right, I ain't never buying any more.
Yeah.
That's me done.
Yeah. But no, I would love a good setup, but there's no practical point for me to have one because I have no time to sit there and listen to it.
Yeah. So, and there'd be no point having a really great pair of headphones and then listening to it on your iPod, would it? Because
not at all. No.
There is a limit to the quality on an iPod.
Yeah. I mean, most of my music listening is when I'm on the metro and I've got the sound of everything else there as well. So my buds are there to cut things out, but yeah.
But you spend a lot of time listening to a lot of unsigned music now, don't you?
Say again?
You spend a lot of time listening to unsigned music, don't you, as well?
Oh, of course. I mean, I listen to, as you know, I've had the show now for what, 23 episodes now?
It's going...
Yeah, half a year. But
really?
Yeah, half a year. But no, I do. I do like trawling through YouTube because you get a hell of a lot of talent there. And
you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yourself included, Mr.
And
Warren.
Oh, thank you very much. And your good self.
Yeah, thank you. But
it's all kind of buried away, isn't it?
Huh?
It's all buried away, and you have to go looking for it.
That's why my shows don't often have new people on it, and I repeat a lot of the artists because it takes me a long time to find things. Now that might sound like a strange thing to say, but it does. It takes me a long time to go through things on YouTube. And
oh yeah,
because
I've got some links of some unsigned guys you might want to have a listen to.
Yeah,
I could send you.
I mean, I think we were talking about this earlier. You get pros and cons with everything, and I think because of YouTube now, the ocean is so big that it takes so long to swim through it. But when you do, when you find something, it's great, and you feel you feel really good about it.
I love hearing some good unsigned stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless it's really generic.
Okay, yeah.
You know, you get these kind of death metal bands, and to me they all just sound the same.
Yeah.
It could be. Yeah. I like a good song. I like someone who sat down and obviously
thought about it.
Something.
Yeah,
and thought about it, and usually sat down there with the most basic of instruments to start. They've sat at a piano or they've sat with a guitar, rather than starting with all these electronic instruments where the melody is almost secondary to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, to the sonic?
Yeah, I wonder whether we'll ever get that craft coming back like Freddie and Queen had and the Beatles and.
I don't think. I think there's so many distractions in the world now. I think people just haven't got the time to dedicate to it like they used to have.
Yeah. Music has almost become like this background noise these days, hasn't it?
Yeah, like I said in Radio Gaga.
Yeah.
I mean, some background noise for all the boys and girls. Yeah.
But I guess these cycles come round, and hopefully, in the future, there will be a shift again.
I hope so. I hope to see a resurgence of real music and real musicians. But saying that, I mean, when pop came in and rock, you had the old jazz instrumentalists who thought that was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's always like the generation before will always kind of say that about the next generation.
True.
But
and I don't like it when people say, "Oh, music's so crap these days." It's like, no, it isn't. It's the radio's crap. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
The television's crap, but there's good people are still making good music.
Of course,
it just doesn't get heard.
Just hard to find.
It is.
Yeah, but I do my best, Warren, and
you do very well. You do a sterling job with that.
Yeah,
with that show.
I've found a few nice ones, I think, and hopefully I'll find some more.
You will do. You will do.
So, anyway, I think I've got to go to another meeting.
Oh, okay. Then.
Well, I enjoyed
that. It was a nice chatting with you, man. Really?
So, 7:05 here. What is it with you?
It's 12:05.
12:05. Well, you've got the whole day ahead.
The day's just getting the day's just getting started.
Yeah, but for now, I have to say goodbye. It's been great talking, Warren.
Nice chatting. It was.
Yeah. So we'll
all the best, mate, and we'll do that again.
Yeah, we'll see what the recording's like.
Yeah, it's going to be hit and miss, isn't it? But
but there you go.
It's like you say, it's just a test.
It is, and maybe we can get some little nuggets in there somewhere and pluck it out and re-edit. Okay.
Yeah, there should be some.
Take care, buddy.
Okay then, mate. All the best.
Yeah,
take care, mate.
Same to you. Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye.